How are you, my people? This is Dave Kihuro, and I hope the Lord has kept you since the last time we were together. The Lord has kept me too. And today I want to share a personal story about my life and how I have seen the hand of God helping me from one level of glory to another when I was in low levels, really low levels, and I never thought there could come a way that would come out of that situation. I was wondering, even when I would go to church and be encouraged, I would tell myself, now, God is great, I know, but which way is He going to use to remove me from this situation to a better situation? But I just want to give one of the scenarios that happened to me that really resonates even today in my life. I got a job when I finished high school. Not high school, college. When I finished college. And one time I was going home. I don't know whether I was going home from college or from where. I think I was going home from college, yes. And now I was, I was really struggling even in college, here and there, not enough pocket money to do this and that. Just enough, just enough, even barely enough. So I think I was going home from school or something for the holidays, I can't remember. And my dad had an old Suzuki that he had bought because my brother had also finished school and he was at home, and my dad wanted something for him to do. So he borrowed a loan and he bought an old Suzuki for my brother to be using to collect milk in the village and maybe sell the milk as he educates me, my dad that is. And my brother now collects the milk. At least he gets something to do, to avoid him staying at home. I will tell you the story how I got to college another day. The story of how I got to college is another story of miracles, pain, perseverance, resilience, prayers, tears. That's for another day. So now on this particular day, as I was going home, I went through my aunt's place. I knew if I passed through my aunt's place, she's gonna buy me some food, and at least I would save some money. And sure enough, when I passed through her restaurant, she bought me food. And as I was clearing my plate, this guy shows up on my table, and I remember him. He was my high school. He was a schoolmate in the high school where I went to school. Now, he was one class behind me. That means he was the same class with my brother, my younger brother, because I was one class ahead of my younger brother. And this was my younger brother's classmate. And if I say the school or I describe the guy more than that, people who know me are gonna get the guy. And I don't know where he is right now, so I don't want to say much more details about him. But now the guy comes at my table and he greets me. We have a chat. He tells me, "Oh, how are you?" We catch up a little bit. Then I tell him I'm going home, blah 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 blah. Then I tell him that I am waiting for my aunt to finish, so that my aunt had offered me a room to spend the night so that the following day I would go home. So I told this guy the same story. And then he told me, I can host you in my place. Deep inside me, I'm saying, I'm still in college. I have not even figured out how my life is gonna be. And this guy already has rented a place that he can even host me. He told me he has a 2-bedroom house that he can host me. Man, I'm not even able to rent a bed sitter. A bed sitter here is a room that has a washroom and a bed. I was used to a room that was just single. The washrooms were shared outside, were communal, shared by maybe 5-10 people. And the bathroom was also communal, shared by several people in that neighborhood. And this guy is telling me that he has a 2-bedroom that he can share with me, and I'm still in college. Man, I felt somehow intimidated, but I said, okay, yes. And I smiled and we went to his home. In me, I have my bags and I also have something else. I have a jerrycan, an empty jerrycan to carry fuel for my dad's car, you know? Yeah? Oh my God. I had a jerrycan to carry fuel for my dad's car because, where we were staying, where my dad's car, where we were staying in the village, it was in the village, it was far. And there were no fuel stations, there were no gas stations. So you had to go get fuel, or you go with the car and you get fuel. And when you are going to get fuel, you are using more fuel and you're trying to save as much as you can. So what happened, my dad told me, when you are coming, look for a jerrycan and come with fuel. And this guy was driving. Can you imagine? He was driving. I'm still in college. Around 3 years since I finished high school. Around 3 years since I finished high school, or 4. And this guy is already driving. He's already able to rent a 2-bedroom house when I don't even know how my life is gonna go. And now he offers to host me. But God has so many ways of speaking to people. I don't know why God connected us together with this guy. I don't know. But if I can still remember his story, I never even knew that this would be a story to tell someday. But you see, God knew. He knows all things. Now, when I went to his house, of course, he welcomed me well. He cooked food for me. I ate very well. And you know what? He had a 7-seater in his house. I had never seen a 7-seater. We were used to 5-seaters, one long couch and 2 small ones. I was used to that. I didn't even know that you can have a 7-seater in one table room or one sitting room. I didn't know that. I was not exposed to such kind of a life. I was a very reserved person. I didn't want to explore. I didn't want to explore the world. I wasn't for that. So what happened? The guy starts asking me, I will never forget this question. He asked me, why are you carrying a jerrycan for fuel? Because of course he knew it was for fuel. And if you saw somebody with a jerrycan of fuel, you obviously knew the car he was carrying fuel for is probably broken, or probably a very old car. And he was right. My dad's car was very old. It was very old. A Suzuki. Was it Sierra? Yes, a Suzuki Sierra. Something like that. Very old. Sometimes you would jumpstart it by pushing it. That kind of life. In the morning you wake up, the car is not starting, the engine is not starting. You have to push it outside the gate, sweating here and there. You see, like that. That was the life. So the guy asks me, your dad's car must be very old. Why are you carrying fuel for it? And I didn't have much to say. I said, no, my dad's car is good. You have to defend yourself and show that you're also somewhere, you're not badly off. But deep inside you, you are terribly, terribly so down. Terribly down, Okay, that debate went on. I can't remember how it went on, but those words still echo in me. When he was describing my dad's car, it must be a bad car. If you see someone carrying a jerrycan of fuel, it's not a good picture. In fact, that's what he said. It's not a good picture. It shows that you are carrying fuel for a broken car. It shows, I don't want to use a bad word, but it's like it shows you are poor. Okay, those words really hurt me. And especially when I started thinking that, I was ahead of him in school, one class ahead of him. I'm still in college. He is working, driving already 3 years. I'm a man who serves God. Especially when it comes to that, you start asking yourself, God, are you biased? Why have you forsaken me? You start asking yourself so many questions. But when I went home, this is what my mom told me. I described the scenario to my mom. I told her, of course, I didn't tell her everything, but I told her, I met so and so. Oh, you remember the guy we used to tell you that he does this and this in school? Mom knew the guy. The guy was well known even in school. He used to do some gigs here and there. He was I don't know whether to say very, very, very hardworking, so to say. And when he finished school, he must have engaged himself in the same businesses that he was doing in school. When I say that, some people may start figuring out which guy I'm talking about. Now, I told my mom about him and how I found his house full of furniture, full of the good stuff, you know. And this is what my mom told me. My mom told me, you should not worry about what you see other people achieve. Your time will come. Ah, those words really encouraged me. My mom told me, don't worry. God will also remember you. That's what my mom told me. God will also remember you. And I was really encouraged. But deep inside me, I knew, hey, when will these things be? Now I finished college, and that's when I got this job when I was earning 6,000. And I started asking myself, hey, 6,000 is the first job I have gotten. 6,000 is around $60 a month. And the only house I could afford to rent was a single room that I was paying a single room that I was paying 800 Kenya shillings. That's around $80. Not even more than $80. Not even $80. Less than $80. Not $80. $8. $8. I was paying that house $8. $8. 800 Kenya shillings. That's $8. And there in that job, I would cry. I would question God, oh God, until when will my pains end? And I remember one time I said, enough is enough. I left that job. I went home to my parents, and my dad looked at me, and I had saved some 3,000 inside my room. And you know what I had done? I dug inside my room. I looked for a container and I hid the 3,000 down there. And the reason why I hid the money is because I didn't want to stay at home when I left that job where I was being paid 6,000. So I wanted to go and stay with my brother who had gotten a job with the Kenya Defense Forces miraculously without any bribe. A story for another day. And now I wanted to go and stay with him a little bit as I figured out how my life is going. And so I decided because I don't know how things are going to turn out, let me hide this money inside my small cube. We used to call it cube, around 10 by 10 room. When you finished primary school, there is usually a rite of circumcision whereby now you believe you're an adult and your dad builds you a house outside. So we used to call them cubes. And inside my cube, that is where I hid the money. And so that when things would not turn out well, I would tell somebody to go and dig it out and send me something just for a rainy day. So things went on like that. The journey is not straightforward. That's the thing. One time, all that ended, and God made a way, not in a straight path, in a very crooked way. Twisted that you cannot even tell where you began and how you have gotten there. But the thing is, sometimes when you're in a state, you don't see your way out. You don't know what is going to happen. You don't know whether somebody will be sent to come and rescue you. But you keep trying what you can. Just don't sit there. Try what you can. God is going to make a way. Because eventually God made a way for me. And the 2-bedroom I was desiring, when I saw it with that guy that time when I was leaving for home, at one time I was able to rent such a house, a 2-bedroom house, and pay it comfortably. So you see, it's a matter of time. That time I was admiring him, not knowing that actually years down the line I would also be where he is and even surpass that level. I said I have not arrived, but I want to tell you who is there, you're wondering how things are going to turn up for your life. Don't be discouraged. Yes, things will change. You keep trusting God, keep doing what you can. The rest, leave them to God. The Lord bless you.